Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicki here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is July 7th, 2023, and this is the reading for the 777 portal, 3 sevens. And before we get to what I have prepared for this, we're going to look at the numerology, the Kabbalah. We're going to look at the astrology, and then I'm going to do a reading with a new deck of cards, which I just picked up today. I went up to Cambridge with my girlfriends, and as we're going up to Cambridge on the 777 portal, we were just driving, and the temperature came up on the, one of those thermometers that, digital thermometers that are on the side of the road, and it was 77 degrees. We saw two cars with 777 on their license plate. And there's a lawyer whose telephone number here is 777-7777. So we knew that it was all a sign. And of course, 7 is a vibration of know thyself. It's an analytical vibration. It's an intuitive vibration. It's a internally oriented vibration, and it really is about analysis and understanding of the self. So it's a little bit of a mystery wrapped up in an enigma. Now, when we add the 7 and the 7 and the 7 together, we get a 21-3 vibration, which is a manifestation vibration. So not only is this a portal day, but it is also a day of manifestation. So let me share with you what I have prepared for this. So if you just give me a moment here, let me find it. All right, so the 777 portal, 7th month, 7th day, and 2023 is the 7 year. And of course, we started the 7 year in January 2023. So now we're in July. And so we've had a half a year of the 7 vibration so far, and we have another half a year to go. So first of all, if we look at the tree of life and we look at the number 7 on the tree of life, we find ourselves in Netzach. Netzach is the 7th Sephiroth or emanation, and it is associated with the 7-pointed star. The name of God in Netzach is Jehovah Zabaoth, Lord of hosts. The archangel is Uriel or Uriel or Haniel, the grace of God, and the symbols are the golden menorah and the chalice that you create. The planet, this is the planetary abode of Venus, and this is where we find all the 7s in the tarot. The word Netzach means victory. The 7th path is called the hidden intelligence because it pours out a brilliant splendor on all intellectual virtues, which are beheld with the eyes of the spirit and the ecstasy of faith. It releases floods of powerful, formless, and uninhibited emotions, which manifest in 4 ways. Instinct, a natural, instantaneous, and reactive impulse. It is unconscious. It knows, but knows not why. It acts below the level of discrimination. So this is gut action, okay? Intuition, a direct and foolproof perception of something true. Brings unerring and productive insight, inner knowing without reason. Number 3, desires, yearnings of any kind and every measure. These are of the earth. Their power can break down boundaries. Every desire is an emotional hunger for freedom. And 4, love, the supreme power that moves the universe. Here we have the forces of nature. The desire to aspire is the highest desire. Here we can experience suffering. So these are the energies associated with the 7 Sephiroth. And it keeps talking about knowing without reason, acting without discrimination, because it isn't until the 8th Sephiroth that we move into reason and discrimination. This Sephiroth is pure force, power, the power of nature, the forces of nature. And as we stand here on this 777 portal, yesterday was the hottest day on the planet in recorded history that we know of course, that we recorded as human beings on this planet. June was the hottest month ever recorded on planet Earth. There are places that the temperature has gone up to the temperatures that we would normally find in Death Valley, 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is untenable, actually, but it is an energy of the of nature, and we need to understand her. Now, if we look at the 7 card in the tarot, we have the Chariot card, and I have 3 different chariots here because there are 3 7s. First one is from the Lightseers deck. The second one is from the Druid deck. And the third one is the most familiar, of course, from the Rider-Waite deck. This is called, on the Tree of Life, the 18th path, the intelligence of the house of influence. The chariot is the vehicle of force, of the force of spirit. A vehicle carries, conveys, or expresses. The human personality as a vehicle for expression for the soul. That's very important because this year for us is really about aligning with your soul purpose. Your soul purpose. And the only really way you can do that is to know thyself. Who are you? Who are you? What are your desires? What are your wants? What is it? What is your passion? Netzach is a place of passion. How can we align with our passion? Our passion is our fire, and our fire is our spirit. It is our creative urge. Moving into a new path, which involves the essence of your spirit. So 777 is going to help us all move into a new path, which involves the essence of our spirit. All magic is the will. You are learning the deep meaning of real magic, aligning with the soul, allowing the personality, allowing the ego really to step aside and allow the personality to be the vehicle for the energy and the desires of the soul. Learning the effective use of the power of words, deeds, and symbols, and of course, the number 7. When we add the 3 7s together, we get a 21. And 21 in the tarot is the World card. And the World card is associated with the planet Saturn. And what's amazing is that Saturn, on this day of the 777 portal, is at 7 degrees of Pisces. The Sabian symbol for 7 degrees of Pisces, illuminated by a shaft of light. A large cross lies on rocks surrounded by sea mist. The spiritual blessing which strengthens individuals who happen what may stand uncompromisingly for their own truth. 7 is a vibration of truth. Who are you truly? We are expressions of our higher vibrational states. And we've come to this planet to do something, to be something, to experience something. This symbol represents the supreme worth of a life guided by an inner voice and manifesting a high degree of self-assertion. And that self isn't the little s self, the ego. I want it my way. We certainly see enough of that. This is the true self. This is the spirit self. This is the know thyself self. So what I've done here is I've put two charts, and one is for 7:07:07 in the morning, and one is 7:07:07 in the evening. And of course, things pretty much stay the same. We do have the moon move. The moon today is in Pisces. This is an Aries rising chart. I didn't want to do a specific chart for a specific area because the portal is for all of us. I didn't want to put it to Washington or Wareham, where I live, or England along the meridian there. I wanted just it to be pure archetypical power. And there is a couple of things here that I want to take note of, and we can use this AM chart here. The difference between the AM and the PM chart is that in the AM chart, we have the moon at 11 degrees of Pisces, and at the PM 7:07:07 chart, PM, we have it at 18 degrees of Pisces. Here is Saturn at 8:53, that's 7 degrees still. What's interesting is the 21 is also significant, right? Because 7 and 7 and 7 is 21. And what's at 21 degrees in this chart is Black Moon Lilith at 21 of Leo. And we do have Uranus here. Uranus is actually at 22, but that's close enough. And we also have Mercury here at 22. The interesting thing about today, astrologically, is that Mercury and Saturn is associated with the 21-3. Mercury and Saturn are in a sesquiquadrate today. That's how the day started at 00, like a minute after midnight or something, at least here on the East Coast of the US. When that's when it was exact, but we feel it. And Saturn creates boundaries, and Mercury is how we take in information. And so sesquiquadrate is a humbling experience. And so it's about humbling yourself to perfect your message, being willing to analyze yourself. We also have a sextile between Uranus at 22 degrees of Taurus and Mercury at 22, 23 degrees of Cancer. This opens the lines of communication. This is an opportunity for us to connect with our own higher selves all by itself, even if we didn't have a 777 portal. Okay, so all these things are sort of aligning for us. And we're moving now, we're close to a nodal shift. That's actually not going to happen until 17th of July, when the North Node moves out of Taurus and moves into Aries. Aries is the I am, It's expressing your I am energy, which is the alignment with spirit. Okay, so as we move into this new nodal frequency, with Pluto squaring the nodes very powerfully. In fact, after the nodes pass, after the nodes change, we have 3 exact conjunction squares of Pluto to the nodes over about a 3 or 4 day period. That will be the week, I think that's the 4th week of July. So these are points where we are at a crossroads. It's an evolutionary crossroads. And with Pluto squaring the nodes, and the resolution node being the south node in Libra, and Pluto being power self-responsibility. We need to go and back to the past and see how we relate and how we give up our power, perhaps in relationships, or how we're unwilling to relate and give up control, because relationship is a give and take. And once we can see how it's been, what the past is like, what the past has been, and release that which no longer serves, we can move into the future of the I am. And if we look here, this is the tree of life. This is the path of the seven, the chariot. We have Mercury and the sun. In fact, July started with a Mercury-Sun conjunction. We also have, this is the path, the 21-3 path. This is the path of Saturn. And Saturn is in Pisces. We also see here that this path activates Saturn. Baina is associated with Saturn also. Saturn in Pisces. Mars in Leo. This is Mars. This is the Sephiroth of Mars. And then here we have the moon, Yesod. The moon, Yesod, in Pisces. The path of Saturn, Pisces. And the earth is opposite the sun always, and the earth is in Capricorn, which is the same sign that Pluto is in, which squares the node. Now, I just want to go back and point something out about Mars. Mars is at the head of a yod between Pluto and Neptune. Mars is our action in Leo. Willful action. How do we utilize our will? Well, Pluto and Neptune as transpersonal planets and ambassadors of the galaxy is asking us to make adjustments in how we assert our will at this time. So that's really the energy as far as the numerology, the Kabbalah, and the astrology. Okay, so let's get off of this. Okay. So on my journey today to Cambridge on 777, when it was 77 degrees, and the lawyer was advertising 777. We went to my favorite bookstore in Cambridge. I kid you not, 7 stars. And I picked up the Spellcaster's deck. I've seen Marianne, a Revealing Light, use it. And so I was like, oh, I think I'm going to get that deck. So what I did is I took it right out of the package, and I shuffled 7 times, cut it into 3, shuffled 7 times, cut it into 3, shuffled 7 times, and cut it into 3. Now, I'm not usually very structured when it comes to that. I just shuffle until it feels good. But this was the first time I shuffled these cards. And so whatever cards come up are coming up with that pure energy of 777. And then, of course, the 3 to the 21-3. So let's see the message for this 777 portal from Spirit. Now, I don't know these cards, so you'll have to excuse me. We have the 10 of Swords. This is about the end of something. Now, swords generally deal with our mental state, right? Swords are air. So it's about a way of thinking that is done, over. Something has come to the end of the line. Now let's see what challenges that. The Knight of Swords challenges that. What action do we take? How do we proceed? How do we move forward in the truth of something? Let's see what's at the root of this. The Page of Swords. Swords, of course, are, as I said, mental. And the page is the most naive, unfamiliar with the tool that it has. You can see here that we have this relatively normal sized person with this enormous sword. And so at the root of this is to understand that we are in a new paradigm, and we're still not quite aware of the power that we wield in this new paradigm. Let's see what's in the past. We have the Three of Swords in the past, heartbreak. We can all feel that, can't we? This is certainly what the last at least 7 years has been, maybe longer. Heartbreak. But in that heartbreak, in that breaking us out of the balance of the two, that third sword comes in, it disrupts and allows us to be free. So this is a Baina card. Baina, remember the black circle? This is Baina. That's where this is located. Let's see what's in the sky. The Three of Cups. This is community, friendship, celebration. A little bit, don't celebrate a little bit too much lest you fall in the water. I saw the funniest video of this guy. It was at a wedding, and they had it was lovely, and they had the where the priest was, the bride and the groom was like up on this lovely deck of sorts right next to the pool with the pillars in the back. It's just lovely. And the guy had to bring up the ring. The best man had to bring up the ring, and he's walking up and he trips, and as he trips, he falls and pushes the bride and the priest into the water. So celebrate, but be careful where your feet are, okay? Make sure that you're not too close to the water's edge here. The immediate future, the Five of Wands. This is a really funny card, actually, where we have these guys that look like they're hitting a piñata, but actually what they're hitting, let me see if I can get a better, I'm so sorry about the light here. Here we go. Is a wasp's nest. It's a card of disruption and a little bit of chaos, but it's very creative. It's very creative. And this card is associated with, I kid you not, Mars in Leo. Remember Mars in Leo at the point of the yod? So the transpersonal planets are saying, hey guys, watch where you're swinging those bats, lest you get in trouble. But do the creative thing all the same. How it's seen from the outside. Judgment. This is the awakening of the soul. Now, what's outside of us as human beings? Well, higher vibrational beings. We could call them extraterrestrials or aliens. We could call them guardian angels. We could call them people who are already on the other side, cheering us on. They are seeing that we are waking up, because we're all waking up together. Your domestic situation, you need to let your light shine where you live. Illuminate, illuminates. Dispel the darkness by bringing in your light. And the light is the light within us. And as we connect with spirit, the light of spirit shines within us. Hopes and fears. The high priestess. There are things that we don't know, and the things that we don't know scare us. Sometimes we would rather be in the hell that we know than move out of it into the possible hell that we don't know. But let's just turn that around. This is a new paradigm. It's not about the hell that we don't know. It's about the heaven that we don't realize we can create. Outcome. I like this. The Knight of Pentacles. So the challenge was the Knight of Swords. How do we move forward? You know, we're used to pulling up the sword. Today, when we were coming back from our trip, and my friend Jackie was dropping us off, we had just dropped off our other two friends, Catherine and Sherry, and then we were driving back to my house. And Jackie was a little turned around. It's like backcountry road, so it's totally understandable, right? And she sort of made a quick stop, but you know, when it wasn't a complete stop, she kept rolling. And somebody behind us got all pissed off because she was lost, kind of. And you know, when people are lost, you have to like allow them to be lost. And this person behind us got all mad, beeped. And so then we found the road that we wanted to be on. And this person, I don't know if it was a man or a woman, went around us. And as they went around us, they gave us the finger. Saturn finger. This is the Saturn finger, okay? Interestingly enough, 21-3. And I said to Jackie, let's go get him, you know, because I'm from New Jersey, and I wasn't gonna I was just gonna say, why were you being so like, you know, allow people to be, you know, sometimes people are lost, you know, it's okay. We're all lost now and again. It would be nice if you had some patience, and, you know, that was what I thought I would say. Of course, Jackie is not like me, not from New Jersey, and she refused to follow the person close by. So the only thing I really got to do was wave goodbye to the person. I don't know if they even saw me, but I kept waving. Like I knew them, like, hey, bye. Yeah. So anyway, that's what that, I mean, it's a good thing because you never know, right? But that's the energy. It's like right away you assume the worst, right? So I think that's something that we have to watch at this time. Don't assume the worst. Give it space, give it step back. 7 is a step back number. It's not an action number, it's an evaluation number. And so when we see the Knight of Pentacles as the outcome, that's a very different night. That's a very metered night. That's a very hardworking night. That's a knight who has done the work and now is waiting for, patiently waiting for what has been sown to harvest, to come up, to nurture, and then to reap the harvest. So slow down, everybody. Let's see if we can pull a major arcana. We have the 7 of Cups. the Page of Cups, and the Ace of Wands, new beginnings, but not a major arcana. Now I'm going to turn over and see what's underneath. We have the Nine of Cups, which is having your wish come true. The Ace of Pentacles, new beginnings, new earth, okay? A new relationship with the earth. We have a little squirrel here. Squirrels are known for gathering the nuts, gathering the food, and storing it away for the winter. That's what they're asking us to do. Gather your nuts and store them away for the winter. And the Four of Wands, which is a wedding, a hand fasting, a coming together, and a celebration. These cards are telling me is that the aggressive, warlike, I'm going to get you before you get me is over. We have to understand the real power that we have, and we have to be patient in learning how to utilize it. There's a lot of celebration here. There's a lot of fun here in these cards, but there's also warnings to be careful, to step back from the action. Remember, 7 is nutsack, it's instinctual. But we still need to sort of step back from that. We can observe the instinctual feeling, like the instinctual feeling that I wanted to, punch that person in the nose that gave my girlfriend the finger. Because, I'm from New Jersey. I was raised by Sicilians. Somebody disrespects you, take it kindly. But Jackie is a much wiser person than I am. So, but then really all I wanted to do was ask them, why were you being an ass? Are you having a bad day? Sometimes people get lost. And we need to be much more understanding of each other, because 7 is about understanding. It's about understanding. So that's what the cards say. Let's see, do I have an oracle deck here? I wouldn't mind picking an oracle card. I'm not sure I have a deck here. Hold on 1 second. Let me scan. Here. Excuse me a moment. Let me send them back here. Okay, I do not, but I do have the I am discourses. Let's see, is there something I can? Oh, let's see if there's a page 7 or a page 77. I know there's not a 777, so let's see 77. 77, Sunset Strip, remember that? I know some of you don't remember that, but some of you do. Okay. There should always be a wondrous grace of love, light, and obedience. It matters not the age of the individual, still the outer expression often for its need is obedience to the great inner light. When the impulse surges forth to argue, criticize, or feel a resistance, it is your signal that the outer is intruding itself to demand attention. Then is the time, by the power of your free will, to command the outer to be silent and to obey the I am presence. It is useless to argue any point. Silence the outer, and then in loving obedience, give the instruction. In this way, it can come forth unobstructed. When students have entered the conscious path, the slightest intimation of disturbance or resistance of any kind should be followed instantaneously by silencing all outer activity and declaring, I am the obedient, intelligent activity in the mind and body. I am the governing power, and to govern it harmoniously. And what are we being obedient to? Not a God outside of us who says we're sinful, but the God that lies within. And the God lies within the heart. It's all about love, folks. It's all about love. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please like and subscribe if you would. And you can also check out my Astrology Kabbalah of July, my Moon Shadows episode with Ona, the new moon in Gemini. You can go to Ona's channel, Ona's Tarot, to see our Moonshine episode, full moon in Capricorn. Or you can check out a new series that I'm putting out called Supreme Justice. I have on YouTube, I have the Samuel Alito video. And for my patrons, you can find the Clarence Thomas video on Patreon. And I will put it out on YouTube as well. But I do like my Patreon folks to get it first. So if you would like to support me, there are links below. If you would like to become a patron, there are links below. Or if you would like a reading with me, there are links below. And know thyself. Take care, everyone. Namaste.